So how many of you would like to have a lot more money in your lives? No, I said a lot more money in your lives. And how many to have a lot more happiness in your lives? And how many can stand a heck of a lot more of both in your lives? You've come to the right place. My name is T. Harv Eker. Welcome to the Millionaire Mind, the secret psychology of wealth. The first thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge you for being here. There's a saying that says 80% of success is just what? Who can tell me? Showing up. So since I can't reach you all, I need you to do me a little favor. Simply reach around, pat both your neighbors on the back and go, congratulations for being here. It takes a lot of courage to really have a look at your life sometimes and admit what's going on. And most of us, well, we're not the best admitters, are we? Kind of reminds you of this story about this lion who's walking along the path of the jungle. And he comes across a monkey. And he goes, hey, monkey, who's the king of the jungle? And the monkey goes, you are, sir, you are. He goes, that's right, and don't you ever forget it. Keeps walking along the path, and he comes across a snake. And he goes, hey, snake, who's the king of the jungle? The snake goes, you are, sir, you are. He goes, that's right, and don't you ever forget it. Keeps walking along the path, comes across a great big elephant. He goes, hey, elephant, who's the king of the jungle? The elephant just keeps walking. He goes, hey, elephant, who's the king of the jungle? The elephant just ignores him. The lion gets really mad, swipes the elephant on the butt, draws blood. The elephant gets angry, picks up the lion with his trunk, throws him around, fires him on the ground, stomps on his head, picks him up, throws him around, fires him on the ground, stomps on his head, picks him up, throws him against a tree, and the battered and bloody lion just lies there. Hey, you don't have to get mad just because you don't know the right answer. And you might as well laugh now because it don't get any better, okay? Anytime I do any training, I have 2 rules. How many rules? 2. How many rules? 2. Thank you. The first rule is really important. It says this: don't believe a word I say. Now, in all sincerity, why would I suggest that? That's right. Whose experience can I come from? Thank you. Just my experience. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it true. And it doesn't make it false. It just makes it my experience. All I can let you know, however, is that the information and principles you're about to learn here tonight totally transformed my life and has now transformed the lives of literally thousands and thousands and thousands of other people. Is it okay if I tell you just a little bit about myself? Thank you. I guess my claim to fame is that I owned at least a dozen different businesses before I hit the age of 30, including one of those businesses was opening one of the first retail fitness stores in all of North America. Now, the interesting thing about that company is that I started that business with $2,000 that I borrowed on my Visa card. And from there, I was able to open 10 company-owned locations in only 2.5 years, and then sold half my company shares to a Fortune 500 company for $1.6 million. How many wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card loan and having $1.5 million in your pocket a couple years after that? Excellent. After that, I kind of semi-retired. I moved down to San Diego, and I began doing some consulting, some one-on-one consulting. And I guess it was pretty effective for people because they started bringing friends and relatives and managers and partners, and pretty soon it was 1-on-2 and 1-on-5 and 1-on-10 and 1-on-20. And someone suggested, Harv, you might as well open up a school already. And I said, you know what? That is such a good idea. And I did. And I founded the Street Smart Business School and taught thousands of people all across North America street smart business strategies for high-speed success. What kind of success, please? Thank you. And it was during these seminars that I noticed something. I noticed something very, 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 very strange. Would you like to know what it was? Well, maybe I'll tell you next time, but what it was simply this, that you can actually have 2 people sitting side by side in exactly the same room. And one person would take these principles and they would skyrocket to success. But what do you think would happen to the person maybe sitting right beside them? Not a heck of a lot. And I realized right there, you can actually have the greatest tools in the world, but if you have just a tiny leak in the toolbox, we have a little problem. So I began designing programs based on the inner game. What game? Thank you. The inner game of money and success. And when we blended and combined the inner game with the outer strategies, with the outer tools, virtually everybody's results went through the roof. Does that make sense, y'all? A good example of what I'm talking about with this inner game is, how many of you notice the phenomenon that when a millionaire loses their money, they generally have it back a very short time later? True? A good example of that is, have you heard of this fellow by the name of Donald Trump? Here's this multi-billionaire who loses everything and more, and 2 years later, he's got it all back again and more. Why does this phenomenon happen? It happens because even though these people might have lost their money, they never lost their most important ingredient to their success, which was their what? Their millionaire. In Donald's case, it's his what? His billionaire mind. Do you realize that Donald Trump could never, quote unquote, just be a millionaire? Let me ask you your opinion. Are you willing? How do you think that Donald Trump would feel if his net worth was $1 million? Yeah, he'd feel poor. He'd feel broke, right? Now, listen, this is the most important thing you could ever learn. That's because Donald Trump's financial thermostat, his what? Is set for, everybody pick your finger up right here. Fingers up. Make it be with me. Billions, not millions. Most people's financial thermostat is set for, fingers up, thousands, not millions. Some people's financial thermostat is set for, fingers up, hundreds, not even thousands. And some people's financial thermostat is set for, thumbs up, below zero. They're freezing and they don't know why. Which brings us to the psychology of wealth. It's very important to realize that we live in a world of duality. A world of what? Thank you. Help me out here. In and out. Give me some examples. Black and white, hot and cold, back and forth, left and right, up and down. Excellent. Excellent. Let's take right and left. Is it possible to have a left side without a right side? Left of what? You see, they're a comparison. So just as there are outer laws to money, therefore there must be what? Excellent. You know, the fact is that most people do not reach their full potential. Most people are not successful. 80% of individuals will never become financially free in the way they would